And hello, and welcome to episode 15 of the DomJake podcast. Whether you're listening to this just the audio or watch it on a screen for 5 hours, thank you for listening. I am your host, Dominic.
And I am your host, Jacob. Now, the weird thing is, we're also being joined by another person. Someone you may have heard before if you've listened to us. Probably not, but actually, he comes from the most viewed episode so far. Introducing our guest host for this episode, Skipper Dila!
Hello, welcome everybody, and it's good to join you guys again for this episode. Glad to be here. Let's do it, guys.
Welcome back. So, I said the audio and the screen part at the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's take a look back at the past 15, 20 years, or probably even less than that. I would say at least when the last decade started, we have something called social media. Who knows anything about social media?
I think everyone in the world probably knows at this point.
I'm sure everybody for the past 20 years already knows it, right? Perfect.
Yeah.
90% of the human population.
You have to be living under the rock, or you have to be in a tribe or something, or in a civilization that doesn't use technology to even heard of social media. Other than that, almost 90% of the world has heard of social media. So yeah.
All right. So yeah, I think there's no way by now we don't have it to an extent. By this point we should already have it. For special events and staying in contact with friends from school or family, unless you have family that's close to you. But most people have an account somewhere that they use, whether they use it frequently or they just look at it to just see people they know,
Or you have apps like Instagram or Snapchat for people to send pictures with and stuff for likes and views and all that stuff. And YouTube and stuff. YouTube is technically social media. So
technically. But yeah, that's where I'm gonna get into. So also, businesses might use it to promote their, business. And others, they use it for other people use social media, like you said, views and likes. There's those people that all they want is attention online.
you get that right.
Some people don't want the attention. Some people actually have accounts that they use to shout into an anonymous void to air out their inner grievances.
Yep,
and like you said, sometimes the entertainment factor too.
Yep, the entertainment factor for sure. YouTube is one of the biggest, probably ever, entertainment social media app ever. I don't know about you guys.
It's if you're counting YouTube Shorts, I guess it's similar. But
YouTube Shorts is pretty much the same thing, Dom.
I know. Well, it's pretty much every social media. Oh yeah, speaking of, pretty much every other social media is kind of copying each other.
That's for sure.
The thing about YouTube Shorts,
TikTok.
There's another one.
Oh yeah, let's not forget TikTok as well.
The ticky-tackies, as the old generation says.
The most infamous app in this generation ever, TikTok.
And
let's not forget Twitter.
The most
toxic freaking social media app ever.
Yeah, that's why I don't have it anymore. It's a cesspool.
Yeah, it's literally a cesspool for cancellations of, if you did something wrong in the past, so they will find it and they will cancel you for it. But that's another topic, right?
Yeah,
it's totally a different topic. We'll get into that and more.
Hey, maybe we'll have a part 2.
So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, maybe we'll have a part 2 of this. Who knows?
Yes.
10 episodes from now.
Yeah, probably. Part 2 will probably be the dark side of social media. We're just talking about how it affected us. Is that?
I guess.
Is that right?
Well, we're kind of we were all born kind of before it really I mean, if it did exist, it was at least still in its infancy. So,
Well,
but
yeah, we'll get into that, right? So right now, just do your thing and let's get into it.
all right. So the first, all right. So at least for the dictionary definition for social media, social media is a virtual space where anyone can have the option to gather, whether to share ideas, opinions, create, or in some cases destroy.
Excuse me.
Uh-huh. And well, we should all wonder, how did social media get in the first place? And what was the original intention? And did that all last?
Jake, you go first.
So the thing that I'm thinking of, how social media got made in the first place, probably to do with something of it took too long to send letters. Let's be
Oh
honest.
yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, what was it? Back before everything else, it used to be sending out a messenger guy who had to just go and memorize something because they hadn't written things down. Or if they did, that guy didn't know how to read. So he had to memorize this information like, oh, Troy is under siege by the Roman Empire or something, right? It goes on a big marathon. That's why it's called that name, marathon. And he goes all the way, and if he forgot something, whoops, how do I deal with this? Okay, after that messenger, maybe we could teach our people how to actually read and write. Oh, it's still a messenger, but it's one person carrying 15 million packages. Well, letters.
I see.
But letters takes a long time.
Yeah.
If I was in New York and you are in California, it's going to take a long time for me to get my message to you, probably even too late.
Huh. Unless you go to the post office and get a tracking number, and then you can see where your letter's gone.
You can see where it's gone. But you're not going to be able to speed it up like just by knowing that information.
I mean, unless I'm the guy from Click and I can just speed up time, but that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, so getting back to Jake's thing. So yeah, people did use letters. Like, that's you heard it right, guys. We used letters. We used to write them back in them days,
Yep.
man. There's no phones, there's no anything. They just use their hands to write stuff, and then they send them delivery boys on on a journey to whatever place they want to go to, and then bam, you get your letter. They were the most important people ever back in those days. I mean, they still are. We still have the mailman and stuff.
Yep, but those were the good old days.
That's pretty much social media in its infancy. But now, Jake, let's fast forward to what the technology when it started to be made, telephones.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, there's these things called landlines. Let's get into that, Jake.
What's a landline? I am only 8 years old. No.
Yep, for all of you kids out there, yes, we used to had not the touchscreen phone, but an actual phone where you have to like type in these numbers, and then you call someone.
Oh yes, it was only. It's almost like it was.
And there used to be toll booths, not the toll booths, phone booths everywhere too.
That's the thing that Superman changes in.
Yeah, I was like, what's a phone booth, Jake?
Or it's like a TARDIS. Wait, we don't have a lot of British fans.
I mean, I'm pretty sure half of you know what Doctor Who is and what but getting back to that, what's a phone booth, Jake? Like, because I'm pretty sure people back in those days are using them for that too.
Oh yeah, the thing that I kind of equate phone booths to is those. They stink, I know, but porta potties, right? We all see them in a plethora of places, right? All lined up for people to put their country fair food in or whatever, right? It's a service that is just scattered throughout the highways and the roads. Well, not really anymore. Phone booths were a thing where you could put in what, maybe a nickel. You could
Yeah.
put in an amount of money and call. Sometimes I think it was probably per minute or something, so maybe it could be super cheap, but sometimes it probably could break the bank or something. But you could connect to any landline or phone booth, I guess, technically, in this country. That's some pretty
Yeah.
Yeah.
powerful stuff. It uses the same wires that you see on the highway, right? You see the telephone wires.
Oh yeah, those
The
wires.
thing that you always looked out the window and pretended that your fingers were like a ninja running across them, right? Or was
Yep.
that
Yeah.
the other one?
I don't lie. All of you have done this at one point in your when you were a
I'm
kid.
I'm sure we all did.
Same sort of thing with the looking at someone like far away from you and pretending you're pinching them with your finger. No, that's
Crush,
something
crush,
different.
crush, crush.
Like, there we go. I pinched you.
And yeah, even like what, 10 years ago, we were still using those cordless phones to call our friends.
Yeah,
Even I
that.
did that.
Yeah, that. And there's also the one where you have to dial up on those phones back in them days too.
Oh, oh
Oh,
yes.
The dial up phones, telephones,
Oh yes, the rotary
the
phones,
rotary
right?
phones. Yeah,
the
that
Mm,
ones
too.
I
that have
found one at a garage
numbers,
sale or flea market. Those are pretty cool.
the
Now, if
numbers
it
of the
weren't for
circle.
those kids, we wouldn't have the phones we have today.
Or
But
yeah,
those are pretty much what our parents and well, let's be honest. I think when we were kids are using back in those days too.
Yeah.
oh, or track phones. How about that? How about that?
Yeah,
That was like the
Now,
first cell phones we had.
now we could go down this rabbit hole of just different old phones and stuff like that. The
But
the
if
meat and potatoes that we
it
want to
does,
dive into is how that shaped what technology gets made today. The only reason why we had those phone booths was, well, through the wires, through, I was gonna make a through the fire and flames joke. No, through the wires,
uh-huh.
somehow this magic technology makes it so you could talk to somebody.
yeah.
Similar to how it's happening right now, actually, through this Spotify for Podcasters app. Yeah,
Yeah, not sponsored by the way.
not sponsored, we only use it all the time.
Yeah.
It's similar concept, but instead the wires are invisible and they're kind of being shot into the atmosphere and
Yeah.
pinging a tower,
Similar to
pinging a satellite, and coming back to you.
yeah, similar to how you would watch terrestrial television, but it's a cell phone tower.
Yeah,
Right
for
on.
sure.
So yeah, this is kind of what led to the social media.
But
Yeah.
also, and then there's the introduction of the earliest mobile phones, like Nokia, the flip phones, all that stuff. And now you can actually text message instead of just calling.
Wow, isn't that wild?
Yeah,
Texting
Almost like
is
what we did before we recorded.
yeah, but it's not that simple though. We didn't have like apps like Facebook Messenger, or Snapchat, or whatever. It's just text messaging.
Yeah, and whatever letters you wanted, you'd have to press
Yeah,
the
you have to.
keypad
Yeah,
multiple
you have to
that's
times.
the
press.
freaking
Yeah,
number.
yeah, Dom.
When
Yeah,
you,
you're on.
uh,
You're on that. You have to press like the multiple buttons like twice for that.
that's why those shorthand little shortcuts were even invented in the first place, like the TTYL. Oh, geez, talk to you later. That's a long ass sentence
Yeah, I
to
know.
worry about. So
That's
you
for
know what?
sure.
So you know what? We're just gonna do out here.
Yes.
Seven, seven,
So
nine.
that's
Yeah.
why, like, when you watch those old movies, you see these people with like these phones and stuff compared to what we have today. It's just amazing if you think about it. Because
Like
before, back in those days, we're just text messaging by that.
Well, now it's like we take it for granted now.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. But that's another topic. So right now, text messaging on these early mobile phones is pretty much the early stage of social media. We didn't have no apps like Facebook or Snapchat or whatever. Like, thank
Hmm.
God it didn't exist back then. Actually,
That'd be great. I'm glad too, because then we would have been one of those like 12-year-olds on their phones all day. But
Imagine
yeah.
Snapchat in the
But like I
60s.
said, that's another topic for another time.
yep.
But yeah, that's pretty much like the infancy, guys. So
Well, so this kind of now leads to the next thing we could talk about. So how do we personally use it? And yeah. So
Let's do round robin for this. Let's start with you, Dom. How do you personally use social media?
so like every once in a while, maybe I'll well, let's use our podcast for an example.
Mm,
Like if I decide, hey, why don't I promote this on Facebook? What I'll just send a link to or I'll just send a link like as a post. It's like, hey, check out our latest episode.
yeah, or if you upload it to YouTube, that's also another way of promoting. Also, like sharing your podcast to everyone instead of just going to what here.
Well, yeah.
right.
Well, I guess
Like,
yeah, to lead to yeah.
yeah. So
And well, if we're gonna be talking about personal stuff, well, I don't know. I don't know. Every once in a while, maybe I'll do like a story on Instagram or Facebook, depending on what I'm using.
I mean, I see you and your friends like taking photos or whatever you're doing. So you're sharing of what you're doing on Facebook. So
Yeah, that I kind of do personally. Yep. So,
Yeah. Dom,
eh,
is there anything else?
yeah. Anything else?
well, other than that, it's like I keep a pretty low profile, but
Yeah,
God, there.
you talk with your close friends, right? And Dante and your family. And that's
Yeah, pretty much. But in terms of like posting on social media, yeah, I barely do that.
all right. Well,
Right on.
Jake, what about you, my friend?
Geez, we're doing it that way. Okay. The guest going last. Cool. That's you took the helm on that one, and you know what? Sure, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do
I
it.
did call you the guest host back then, so I guess that works.
Let's do it.
All right, so I don't know if you would technically count this as social media, although it kind of counts, I would say, because it uses the same service as YouTube does and your Google Plus and email. But Google Drive. Sometimes,
Yeah,
some,
technically it is. Yeah.
technically, it is because you could still comment on little paragraphs and things. Like, you'd be like, oh,
Oh,
good
oh.
sentence you wrote.
Can I cut you off real quick?
Sure.
We forgot about email.
Welcome. You've got mail.
Yeah, we
That
forgot about email. Yeah, email is also another way for social media. Getting back to our earlier thing too.
mm,
Yeah, you got
Windows
that.
95.
Yeah, like Dominic said, you got mail. Who like I'm guarantee you half of you audience members out there have heard of that phrase. Yahoo,
Ah,
Google
America
Mail,
Online.
or what else is there?
America
AOL,
Online.
AOL, America
Yeah, that's
Online.
AOL. Yep, that's what it is.
Yeah, and then I'm pretty sure that what Microsoft Mail, OneDrive,
Microsoft.
OneDrive.
Windows
iMail.
95. Windows XP was probably what we were at least
Yeah,
used
I
to.
can't believe we forgot about the email part.
And
Yeah,
then obviously
yeah,
the
it's like writing a mail, but electronic.
Whoa,
And
that's
Wow,
crazy.
guess what?
wow.
You had to call somebody to actually access it back in the day.
Yeah,
That's why you hear the
Dial up.
annoying sound, the dial-up. That dial-up internet is exactly as it sounds. You call somebody, so then you could look up, I don't know, black and green photos of a cat or something.
yeah.
Black. green monochrome pictures.
So yeah, like juggernauts like Gmail, Yahoo Mail, or what else is there? Like whatever. Like usually
I don't even
Gmail
know.
Gmail is like all I know back in them days. Like Yahoo Mail, and then I'm pretty sure Microsoft has one now because I have to use it for my Xbox account and stuff. But yeah, email is pretty much also social media.
Bonzi Buddy. Ooh, I know it's a little off topic, but how about Bonzi Buddy? That was another thing that was a early internet thing. Featured a purple gorilla.
Yeah. But sorry about that, Jake. I just want to focus up on that as well. What else?
No, yeah, because that is something where it's like we did kind of skip over it, and it's like, well, we had to have turned, we had to have evolved from something. So it's a good thing that we actually uncovered that truth from the past. So
Yeah.
no
So
real worries
you were
with
saying
that.
something about Google Drive too.
Google Drive, right? So essentially, I already did say it. Yeah, thankfully,
Yeah.
you didn't interrupt me before that part. But essentially, just you can comment things. You can now like kind of share it with different people throughout the world, so then they could even anonymously like type into your document if you wanted. You could do the Google Forms. That's the that's the weirdo stuff, though. That's
I mean,
the
any platform that you can comment in is technically social media.
So yeah, okay, then you can technically call it that.
Yeah.
That's what I personally do use social media for, right?
So
I
Google Drive, and then obviously you use Facebook.
obviously I do. Like, oh, I kind of want to get into them a little bit more deeply of why I use them, but so I could just list them and just say, oh, Google Drive, YouTube, Facebook, but I kind of want to explain what I do there. So Facebook, obviously, I do. This this whole thing is in a Facebook group chat. That's how we sent the invite out to have everybody joining in, right? So I use that for messaging. Most of the time, I'm just watching reels and I don't know, liking memes that come up on my page. Not really using Facebook for Facebook purposes, but true. So there's that.
Hmm.
I will also occasionally, not so much anymore because of my recent job, kind of weird scheduling. But I would also use, Discord. I would use Twitch, right? Twitch,
Uh,
Twitch.
Twitch being a good one because,
Twitch and Discord. Yeah.
yeah,
But we'll get back to that.
we can get back to negative stereotypes about certain places, but
But for right now, we're just yeah.
We'll
right,
get to the meat and potatoes soon. So
I you know what? I have to say this next one because it has to come in threes, right? Twitch, Discord, and I also do occasionally pop into Reddit.
Reddit.
uh,
Another. It could be a 50-50 either way on that one.
it's like
There's
everyone's
literally the
personal.
subreddit.
Reddit's like everyone's personal diary when they post all their problems on there.
Yeah, it's either 50-50.
Some of it's not even true, right? So it's like, oh, ask for help.
And
I
we're not
just
gonna
I
speak
just
of
made this whole
4chan.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use that anyway, luckily.
But
Or two
I mean,
chan.
I'm sure there's plenty of other stuff out there, but right now we're just focusing on the ones that do matter for now.
So yes, and the ones that I personally use, right? So I use
Yeah.
those ones. I will, honestly, like, would that even be considered it? Um, I mean, I'll do like Snapchat like once a year just to like see, oh, filter, cool filter, right? But
Oh
I
God,
don't really
remember?
do it for
I
like
Oh,
mean, obviously, all of us here use iMessage.
yes. If anyone has an as an iOS device,
Well,
so
yeah,
I
but
don't use that.
iMessage is pretty much like what we use to text message other people if they don't have social media or something. Let's just say if you meet someone with a flip phone and then you give them the message, and you use iMessage, and then they'll turn green because they don't have an iPhone.
Yep.
And all that stuff. Yeah.
I do have an Android. Let's not talk about that one though, but
Yeah.
it seems like I'm being ganged up on.
No disrespect to androids. We're just, I guess
Superior.
that's,
At the end of the day, all that matters is we get our point across. Doesn't
yeah.
matter
Yeah.
what device somebody uses, because I mean,
As long as as long as you can communicate. I mean, I still see people with flip phones, like elderly people. I'm like,
honestly, that's
Actually, there's.
a vibe, because you can't really do a lot with that. So it
I
I
mean,
mean, hey.
if they don't know how to use iPhones, then might as well just use that then.
I mean,
But
Right.
at the same time, it's gonna be hard, taking photos of your family or something.
Mm.
yeah, get
Because
0.1 megapixels.
I keep forgetting flip phones back in those days are either have bad quality and stuff, depending
Well,
on depending on the phones that you do use.
I don't know, like depends on the era they were made to. So
Yeah.
That's why every photo that was taken with a flip phone is like a conspiracy or something. It's like, oh, this weird shadow that's in the corner of my room. Oh,
you'll see that on Reddit.
that's obviously the I don't know, Bigfoot in my room.
Sounds like something you would see on Reddit.
Yeah.
Uh,
And let's turn it around to you. What do you personally use social media for, Skip?
Oh, okay. Well, I use YouTube like almost like 90% of the time. Like I watch, I comment on stuff. I once in a blue moon upload videos for everyone to see, as you guys already know.
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
I use Snapchat sometimes, but I use it to communicate with people. But I don't really like post snaps and do stories. Like I do it like once in a blue moon. Instagram and Instagram, I mostly do everything on mostly. Like I comment, I watch reels, I communicate with people, I post pictures of whatever the hell I take a picture of, as you already guys know. Um, like that's pretty much like yeah, you take photos and for everyone to see, and people will comment on there. And I use Facebook. I sometimes do pictures there, or my mom will take a photo of me, and then people will see it.
So pretty much what you're tagged in, not necessarily you
Yeah,
posting it.
but it's still like for people to see, sharing, social media in a nutshell.
Yeah, it's
But
literally what it is.
and then I use Discord to communicate with people, and also like uh use that as a platform to like communicate with like my potential Twitch audience. I also use Twitch too. Plenty. I'm a streamer too, so I communicate with people in there and play games and stuff. Uh, what else do I use? Hmm. Oh yeah, well, other than emailing, I mean that's pretty much part of social media and iMessage and all that stuff. But that's pretty much it, really. Like Twitch, Discord, Snapchat, Facebook
Hmm.
messaging, Facebook itself, YouTube. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much it, really.
So
I noticed something that none of us really said. I mean, the only reason why I didn't say it was because I kind of forgot that I do have an account. I used to be a TikTok fiend, right?
Oh,
Like I don't know, maybe it was like 3, 4 months ago or something like that, where I kind of like just stopped or something out of nowhere. I don't know the reason why, but I I still have an account. I, it's so like a short attention span sort of app where it's like I eventually hit the follow limit. Like I was at one point following 10,000 accounts, and it's like I got in the rhythm of, oh, I like this account. Sure, I'll follow them. Great.
even if
Like,
like don't look at
follow.
them the next day.
Sure. Like, follow. It literally I could do that with 10 accounts in like 10 seconds. Right? Like, oh, cool thing. Like, follow. Great. Like, follow. Great. To this day, I maybe only know five, well, seven account names that I actually still follow there. So I probably could
Interesting.
lose a lot of them, but and not really mind. But I do have some like silly videos that are there too. I will say, out of every social media, that's like the one. If you're starting from nothing, post there, and suddenly you have an instant following. If you're good enough.
Yeah, TikTok is a
Oof.
infamous app, I would say. It's either good, it's either cringe, or it's either just bad altogether.
Everything but good. That's all I can say.
I mean, there's some
There's
like
good.
there's some interesting like creative good stuff on there sometimes, Like, like the
Yeah,
thing that one of the things I'm going to give an example. One of the things I like
the
that came
Star
out of
Wars one.
TikTok. It's the ones with the ship to put to sea, that one.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
that song.
Yeah, that was actually pretty clever. Like, people are actually talented. Are actually using the app, other than the cringy dancing and cringy whatever trend that
What?
they're doing.
Or how about those infamous challenges that happen at school?
Yeah, that's
Like,
what I just said. Cringy and stupid people that uses the app,
yep.
that do the dances, do whatever the like
Or
that.
how
Yeah,
there's that one where they vandalize like schools and stuff. Like
yeah,
not
and
that.
they think it's actually funny, but but it's just giving the police more a reason to
Hey, they're gonna be making money.
But
That's all.
also it's like I'm just gonna say this once, China. Okay, let's move on.
Okay, spyware. Okay, okay, I'm done too.
Yeah, China. That's it.
Yep.
Um.
So,
So
So
actually, yeah, we delve into personal uses. However, and this is kind of, I know this is kind of weird, but I have this this bullet point on this list. I kind of wanted to say it, but it does kind of exclude you, Skip.
it's all
But
good.
but how our channel DomJake, right? This production uses YouTube. It's mainly a YouTube thing. I have a, let's see, a Twitter for it. I've like
um,
no content on. I have a Facebook, I think, group or page or something.
well, it's like we. Well,
That
it's
I
like
made something out of that.
we usually use our personal accounts to promote
I
it,
mean,
but we don't
I
have
I
a.
used my Instagram to promote your podcast last time with me on it.
Uh,
But
so
yeah, like I personally do. No, not personally. I have used, I guess, the Facebook account like once, right? For the DJ stuff. The most of the thing actually comes from the Google Drive stuff. That's pretty much all, if not the only, um, social
Oh,
media use that we use for DJ purposes. We will advertise it on our personal stuff, but we do technically have a Twitter if you want to follow us.
yeah.
mm,
But yeah, that was just the one tangent aside because we pretty much did cover why we personally use it, but it's worth saying why, or not why, how DomJake Studios as a whole uses it. So there we go. Now we can move on to the
all
next
right. So this one is interesting. So, what are the reasons that social media can be a blessing, and why is it great?
blessing. Let's let's do a reversal this time. Let's start with Skipper. Why is it a blessing potentially?
A blessing. All right, let's
Yeah,
see.
good.
Well, well, I feel like um ever since social media, like people are just been using it to, like, I don't know, just share whatever stuff they're doing to other people or their families and friends, like, just like they want to share what they're doing to their families and friends and see what they're up to. um you know, it's just the, or if you're like a public influencer, you can share, you can have an audience that know what you're doing, they can comment on it. So I guess like it uses for their egos or whatever to have just an audience. But other than that, like if you have social media, like, you know, using Facebook to communicate with your family and friends, or Instagram or whatever, instead of just, you know, like, but using the primitive tools back in those days where you use text messaging, or writing a letter, or, you know, using the landlines or whatever to communicate with people back in those days. I mean, it worked, but now we have the technology. We have advanced so much as a human species to create these apps, for better or for worse. You know, for but it's a blessing, pretty much. You know, for people to actually use it to like communicate with other people, find friends, maybe find love. Tinder.
Yeah.
But we won't talk about Tinder because that's another story.
Yep.
Find love, but other than that, just share what you're doing. Like, let's just say, you know, YouTube is pretty much a place where you share entertainment with people. People can like whatever you have. People can be trolls or whatever, but people can still communicate on your content, or whatever content, PewDiePie's content, Mr. Beast or whatever. Also, like, using it as a platform to, like, you know, spread change. You know, if you want to change the world for the better, they use social media.
Mm.
Yeah, like donations or whatever. Mr. Beast is pretty much taking advantage of his wealth and social media presence to, plant 1 million trees, give food to the poor or
Yeah.
whatever.
Cure the blind and deaf.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah, and also like curing,
That's
apparently making blind people see and making deaf people want to hear people, and somehow they want to, bring the man down. But that's another
eh,
topic for another day.
for like maybe 20 episodes from now, but who knows?
But yeah, but other than that, like, like like in a nutshell, people just want to use it to like communicate with people, like share stuff, use it for like to help mankind, promote stuff, especially like businesses. Oh, like promote the hell out of their businesses, and then sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But sometimes, it'll gather like plenty of stuff. Like, is commercials technically social media?
Eh,
That's
I
interesting.
I
Like it's
wouldn't
like an
consider
ad,
it.
basically, like
Just
on your phone.
oh, so if it's on your phone, then I guess, but nah, because
But yeah, but they're using, yeah,
Mhm.
whatever businesses use, whatever, like Instagram, Snapchat,
okay, then yeah,
TikTok, or
sure.
whatever. So yeah, they use that for the better good, and that's a blessing, pretty much. And
But
that's
then if it's like TV commercials or like a billboard, then no, I'm not considering
yeah,
that
that's
social
not, yeah, that's
media.
not social media, but like ads,
No.
pretty much. So I covered businesses, I covered people like just sharing stuff with their family and friends, or people just want to use it to just share what they have in their lives, and to share content to people on YouTube or whatever. And yeah, that's pretty much why it's a blessing.
Yeah. So,
Uh, Dom, how about you? Any potential blessings that he didn't say? Because I think I might have one or two. In
well, like we were mentioning earlier, well, we had like these things called phones and well, letters. And
Uh-huh.
since the whole electronic revolution, now people can just communicate like with a push of a button. We no longer had to take trips to the post office. I mean, I'm sure people do that, but
I mean,
you know,
yeah, I mean the mailing post office is still important today. It's
yeah, of
just,
course it
it's
is,
just it's
but
just like what you mean, Dominic, is just people don't have to like write letters just to send a message to people.
yeah, well, yeah. But yeah, like you said, people use it to influence like others or like change the world in a positive light.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
well, you know,
Well,
again,
I didn't mean to like take what you guys were supposed to say, but that's pretty much like, what social media does in a nutshell, really. But if you guys have any other, like Dominic said, or
well,
Oh,
like yeah, like with the push of a button, yeah,
yeah,
you
push
can
of a button,
communicate
yeah, it
much
just makes things
faster.
easier.
I mean, hey, if you still want to write letters, by all means, go ahead. But this is just
Or if you're one of those boomers who still want like a flip phone and just want to press the same button twice to get a message across, and by all means, it's still social media.
And actually, if there were some new model flip phones, that's a topic aside, but yeah.
Oh shoot. Yeah, actually, you guys know about this one? I actually downloaded an app like maybe a year or two ago. Like it was a while ago. I heard it on a different podcast, but we don't need to shill for other people who are more successful. Um, so the whole premise is it's an app that connects you to real pen pals throughout the world, and it's almost like email or just a regular text or whatever. But the whole concept is that's how do I describe this? It takes a longer time to get to somebody the farther away they are from you, right? So it's pretty much letters, but digitally. So it's like if I was to use the service to connect with one of the two of you, both of you are pretty, I guess, closer than if I was to connect with someone from South Africa, right? And the whole idea is you're just digitally typing letters. You collect different stamps as achievements and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. That's the gamer part of me that I like the achievement end of it. But like it was pretty neat connecting with different people throughout the world too. It's not exactly just a family and friends, because I mean friends, yeah, strangers are just friends you haven't spoken to. I think that's the saying, right?
That's like the
But
the G-rated version of saying it. Yeah.
but yeah, there's that app. I still even have it downloaded. It's just been a long time since I opened it because I got a little bit busy. Um, but that aside,
What?
something else that I think is a great thing is the the fact of recipe sharing, right? That could be done obviously by a group of old ladies in a room just being like, "Oh, share it. Here. Yeah, I'll take Carol's baked bean recipe. Sure. Oh, great.
That's my
Gertrude."
mom's name.
Nice. So you know what? Maybe I'll take your mom's recipe someday. I don't know. But this might sound like it's a segue into a different segment we have, but no, it's actually not.
So what you're saying is, it's also good for social media that people can share the recipes or whatever.
Share the different cultures and the traditions with other people in the world who might want to experience something new.
That's a good idea. Yeah, that's good.
That is a
That
great
is true.
thing. The the
That is
drawback
true.
the drawback to that is the the ones, the white people recipe websites that give you the 50 paragraph essay before the recipe. Be like, I was 12 years old in the summer of 1954 when I first found that. If you've ever seen a recipe online, you know what I'm talking about.
That's literally what it would be like. Oh, this is what my grandpa gave to me in 1992 when I
And I,
was just working on the farm.
and I tried it thinking it was just divine. Anyway, this.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what it's like.
So yeah, we all kind of went round robin and did blessings. First off, is there any more that got sparked in any one of our minds, right? Did we just think of another blessing?
I mean, I think we pretty much
I don't
covered it.
know
Like, you said, like
most
we
of it.
interacting with different cultures, like finding out about different cultures and recipes while,
Mhm.
people are sharing content for others to see, talking with family and friends more easily now back that rather than before, getting back to Dominic's thing, like, making things easier in a push of a button. And as for
There's
my
one
thing,
more. There's one more I just thought of. I just remembered. I
Oh,
like
by all means.
back like a few weeks ago, whenever we were typing this document out, I was gonna write it, but I forgot to. I just got it right now. Um, are you guys familiar with the concept of internet sleuths?
Kind of, not really.
So, Dom, are you?
Oh, I might have heard it at one point, but no, for
You've
the
heard
most
the
part.
term, but you're not familiar with the concept. So, essentially, internet sleuthing is, say there's this cold case that for whatever reason the police officers of this location, this whatever location, just aren't paying attention to. Random
Uh,
people throughout the internet will try to solve, and a lot of times actually do solve, who murdered this person that this police station is just not caring about. Or they'll find potential places where missing cars might have gone, right? Like you've seen a lot of rivers and ponds and stuff like that that can hold a car. Sometimes people will, use Google Maps and kind of draw.
bro. Oh,
This is
another thing to add to you too. People use Reddit actually to solve some stuff too.
right. That is part of the internet sleuthing. That's one of the communities that actually does it. But
Crap, shit.
people,
Even 4chan too. It is scary that people can
right?
actually solve these stuff.
Even if we're going to make it, if we're going to paint it in like a funny comedic light, there's this guy I follow him still. He makes some actually unique content on YouTube. But so you know how like some cars can be in like these rivers and ponds and bodies of water. Well, people take like satellite images from Google Maps, right? Or other satellite services, right? And they'll see different locations that these missing people were last in. So they could theoretically find, oh, this sunken car has a probably missing person in it, and it's this lake that was like within 2 miles of where they were last seen. That like people use these services like that, and that's like the importance like internet sleuthing has. That's why I kind of was like kind of interrupting you, Skipper, over there. Like I was like, oh shoot, there is one important thing because these internet sleuths will a lot of times actually figure out the things that for whatever reason the police just aren't opening up about. But whether it's like cold cases or just cases that haven't been shared with the police or something, a lot of times they get solved by internet people like the Redditors, like the 4chan, like the whatevers. And that's just an amazing thing. Like sometimes it takes the basement weirdos, I'm stereotyping, but basement weirdos to make a community feel better because now they found where this missing person went. And like that's amazing.
Well,
That's interesting.
But yeah,
So,
the thing that I was actually going to say before was this guy, this YouTuber that I actually follow and enjoy his content. He does like miraculous things. He's one of the people who that he's the reason why I kind of brought up the internet sleuthing in the first place. His name's GeoWizard. He, he's one of the people who does GeoGuessr, right? And he's pretty good at it. He's not the best person, but he's pretty good at it. He'll be able to tell you, oh, this is obviously Eastern Europe, right? Obviously from this Google Street Map view, this has to be Europe. Um, so something that he did before, I don't know if he still does it, but like vacation photos, he has like subscribers sending in vacation photos, and he'll use Google Maps and pinpoint the exact location this picture was taken. Obviously, he doesn't do that with like oh, this is just me in my backyard to dox people. He'll do it like, I don't know, on top of Kilimanjaro or something, right? Like this specific frame, this specific location, that's where you are. That's what kind of inspired my internet sleuth thing. But the other thing he does, which is miraculous, but it's not really, I guess, meat and potatoes of social media, he is one of the people who started the crossing a whole country in one straight line challenge, right? Yeah, so he went to Finland, the western portion or something, and he straight line, well, as straight as it could be. I think it was like within 5 meters is gold, within 10 meters is silver, within, I think, 20 is bronze, and if he deviates past that, then I guess it's a failure, but he'll cross countries without, you know, striking from a line. No matter if it's brambly or rivers or crossing people's houses, he'll actually do it. But yeah, but yeah, the internet sleuthing. That's one of the blessings.
Interesting. Good to know. So, yes, we may have blessings. When there's blessings, there's also curses, right? So what?
The
What?
negative side.
Yeah. So what makes social media potentially a curse? You know.
We could go on about the negative stuff. But I mean, you could easily make a part two about the negative effects of social media. Honestly,
How long do you have?
honestly, what time is it?
7:37.
7:37. So I can probably list like a few more, and then probably that's it for me.
So if we want, we could put a pin in the curses and maybe
Yeah,
have a
because
whole entire thing.
literally, like the negative thing is a gold mine for like literally a part two of
we
social
can
media.
we could
Sure.
just schedule another day to do this.
Sure.
Too.
So we could put a pin in the curses and then move on to. I'll take this next bullet point, I guess. So, what would somebody be called if they spend most of their time on social media? Let's dive into the individuals this time. Skipper, do you think you
I
know the answer to this
I
one?
think there's like a scientific word for it, but I'm not sure. But someone's addicted. I think there's like a diagnosis for it, but I kind of forgot what it's called though.
Well, that could be chronically online, but we're talking about the people who are chronically online.
Chronically, like what are they called?
What are what is somebody called who spends a lot of time on social media, perhaps promoting businesses for exposure? An
Uh, influencer.
influencer.
Ding
There we
ding ding ding
go.
ding.
I sounded like Matt Pat there. An influencer is a person with the ability to influence potential buyers of a product or service by promoting or recommending the items on social media. Sometimes they take it too far and will say, "Oh, I'll just share your account on my 10,000 follower Instagram. That's exposure. That's more than $20 that you need for your time and service." But yes, an influencer. Um, Dom, you want to list some influencers right now? Some famous ones?
Well,
Like for better or for worse?
Any.
I'm probably gonna do both. So we all know who Mr. Beast is.
Yep.
He's supposed to help the poor and the homeless and try to better everybody's lives. And then,
Logan Paul
yeah,
and KSI with Prime.
Mhm.
Logan Paul and Jake Paul. Yep.
Well, no, Logan Paul and KSI with their Prime energy drink.
Yep.
We got Markiplier with the Cloak brand.
And then there's that lady who sold that pink sauce, and it's now being mass produced.
I think she even got sued or something like that. Yeah.
I
The
mean, pretty
FDA
much
doesn't like her.
I mean, there's like thousands of influencers with like with the clothing brands and all that stuff.
Mm.
But
That's just an example.
But Mr.
Obviously, we
Beast is
don't.
probably the biggest influencer, right? As of right
Obviously,
now.
we don't have enough time to list out all of them.
Yeah,
So,
but those are pretty much what Dom hit it out of the park with the
right,
names there.
perfect.
Why are more people taking on that title? And why do people like the attention and validation on social media? Well, I guess I don't know. There's really no exact answer, but I guess people just really feel like they can change the world, or sometimes that's too much.
Wait, I'm sorry.
They're just
Say
one
the question
person.
again. I kind of blanked out there.
Why are more people taking on that title?
Influencer.
Oh,
So again, I'm sure they not only for the attention, but I mean, if they're doing it right, trying to do good for everyone out there. But yeah, but then there's that. Then there comes a point where the word influencer is just used like green on leaves.
yeah. If you're a TikTok influencer, I feel bad.
Yeah, yeah. So there's people that, well, their whole lives are through that social.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much a job if once you're an influencer or something,
Well, then and then it just
and
doesn't.
it does get you sponsors and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool whenever people are influencers, but it's one of those things where it's a double-edged sword because once you say at, I don't know, an office party or something, oh, I'm
I'm
an
an
influencer.
influencer.
Oh, let's stay away from this little kid. The adults are talking here.
Well, it depends. 'Cause if you say like I'm a TikTok influencer, no one's gonna take you seriously because at that I mean, some people will take you seriously, but but TikTok is such an infamous app that either way it could be bad or good.
It can definitely be two sides of the same coin. However,
And then
there's
if you're like a feminist influencer, it's yeah, like you said, it's a double edged sword.
there's also the factor of, are you just claiming you're an influencer to get this free product?
Yep, that's also another thing too.
That's the thing where it's like, oh, my 5 followers can see that you gave me a I don't know, Photoshop thing. I don't have to pay you $200 for this top tier thing that you gave me. I'll just share your name on my page. That should be enough exposure. Let's do it. Let's pay you by exposure, everyone. Let's do it. People
Yeah.
want to try to get their free things. They'll say anything to do it. They'll say that they're an influencer to probably get some free things. They'll say that they're, I don't know, pregnant to get free things. They'll say that they're anything that to
Or
get free things.
homeless.
Sure, anything.
Yeah.
Anybody. Influencers is just one of those words that is kind of turned into the. It has a different meaning than what it kind of started as. Nowadays, an influencer isn't really, I mean, exactly the same definition that I shared earlier. An influencer now is the person we're not going to listen to.
Yeah, well, now they got a bad rep.
Because how do you spot the, I guess, wolves from the sheep at this point? Maybe that's not it.
Well, it depends on the content they make, or it depends on their personality.
Sure, right. Like,
There's bad influencers, and then there's good influencers, and then there's the OnlyFans influencers.
oh,
Oof.
let's go. Let's do it.
Oh no. Yep.
Which leads us,
But that's another topic.
which leads us to this next segment of our episode. All three of us have signed up for OnlyFans. Link below.
Wait, what was the question?
All
There's a
three of
joke.
us have signed up for OnlyFans. Link below.
Check out.
Yep.
Look at my chest pics, everyone.
Oh, if you see an influencer with like a tree link or something, like a links with all that stuff,
Linktree, yep.
like a female or something, there's 50% or 60% chance you're gonna see OnlyFans in there, depending on how if the girl is hot or whatever.
Or if they have a professional account.
Yeah, like I said, if you see a hot girl with a link tree, 90% or 80% of chance. I'm just gonna say this right now. There's gonna be an OnlyFans link there.
Well, yeah. By the
Or
way,
it
we
can-
don't actually have that account.
Yet. That's right, everyone. If we get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of this week,
You too can get a free link to OnlyFans.
Perfect.
thank you,
But yeah,
thank you, OnlyFans, for sponsoring this.
for research purposes.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Yeah, so.
All right, Dan, that was probably a good time because we're approaching, what, 70 minutes? We're probably going to cut something out, but like 70 minutes total.
I think.
Yep.
All right, so I guess I'll do the
Now's
outro.
now's the outro. And
Okay.
probably plug-in, too.
Ugh. All right, so. Well, this has been an electronic journey of the podcast. Once again, I'm Dominic, and my co-host Jacob's on here, and we have our returning guest Skipper.
Hey, thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me. I look forward for the next episode, and hopefully I'll be back for the social media negative part.
Yep.
True. And
Well-
Skipper, one more thing. Would you like
Yes.
to plug anything on the last few minutes of this podcast?
Oh, okay. Well, you can follow me on Twitch. It will be master_skipper1, I think. And then you can follow me on Instagram, Master Skipper, and then follow my gaming account too, which is Skipper_gaming1. You can subscribe to me on YouTube by Master Skipper, and that's pretty much it, really.
And speaking of the YouTube account, it's already in our channel list thing. But we already linked your your YouTube channel there because you were already,
Oh, okay.
a friend of the show, right?
Yep.
So look over in the
Anyways.
channel section for that.
Yeah, and that will be it. Again, thank you guys for having me, and see you guys later.
See you soon. Peace
Without
out.
further ado,
Peace out.
have a great evening, day, or night.
And just like Jim Carrey says, good evening, good afternoon, and good night.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yep,
Yes.
Truman Show. That's also an excellent movie.
Mhm.